Hello there, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Connor here. It's Matchday with Mcgilligan. We're back here discussing the Cardiff City game. We're going to be discussing everything toward the game. We're going to be discussing your guys' thoughts as well. How you feeling going into this one today? Leeds United taking on the Welsh side in their first game of the season. Give me your predicted lineups as well. Interested to see who you guys would start, who you wouldn't start. Obviously, big news from the other day, Sam Byram signing a one-year contract. Leicester are about to kick off proceedings as well in their first home game of the season. To keep an eye on that one. You should keep an eye on that one, I should say. Alongside that, also Sunderland are also kicking off at this point as well today. That's 4:30, I think. Is it 4:30? So keep an eye on that one. I think Sunderland are going to be playoff automatic chasing this year too. Are you going to the game, Connor? Wish I was, mate. Unfortunately, Man City are also playing today, which have been called into work at the last minute. So that's what's happened. Unfortunately, work calls everybody. Journalism doesn't stop just never stops. I've been called into work. Manchester City are protesting against ticket prices. There you go. Okay, morning, Connor. How you, Jay? 1-1 today. Hope we don't win. If we don't, Twitter will be a meltdown of people saying we're going 1-0. Down 3-0 today. 3-1, I'd like to say. Hi, Jay. 1-1, A up on A1 on the way to church. I'm jealous, Rod. I'm jealous. I hope you have a good one, mate. Oh, man. Got a new yerba mate there, everybody. You know, Bielsa's drink, and it's bitter. Would be nice to get a win after so long without, but whatever the result, is not reading too much into it, as results at this time are unpredictable. Yeah, I do agree with the previous comment, though, David. I think it could get potentially a little bit hair-raising if we're not winning this one. I think this is a winnable game for Leeds United, and, I think we should have a certain amount of demands. I think we're not going into the season in the best shape. I think we all can admit that in terms of the squad depth, in terms of the squad makeup. But you're just hoping some of the youngsters are able to get us over the line. Obviously, we heard earlier on that Tyler Adams has apparently been approached by Chelsea. His camp. What's going to happen there? Are Leeds going to accept that? Is that going to be a churn? We're then going to go out and spend a little bit of money. You'd hope so. I think we need to start moving in the transfer window pretty quickly. But that's by the by. That's another conversation. Leeds are probably going to go into that today with Willian Jonso up front. Obviously, he's played there for Italy before. You've either got that or maybe the variation of Dan James up front, which I think is okay. I think the front four of, a Nonso, a Somerville, a Poveda, a Sinistera, Dan James thrown in there. I think that's fluid enough for the Championship. I think that's fluid enough, not for a full Championship campaign, but I think it's fluid enough for Leeds to start the season against Cardiff and play against Birmingham and, then play West Bromwich Albion. I think it's going to be fluid enough. And obviously we've got a cup game in there. I think what I was referring to earlier on, when I was talking about squad depth, Leicester have just released their starting lineup, and this is what I was discussing earlier on when it came to Leeds probably having to move in the market. Moving on from today, I don't think we all should get carried away with maybe a victory over Cardiff City. I think, great, you get the win, but then let's move in the transfer window. Let's take this seriously and let's, add players, just as a bit of a measuring stick. This is Leicester's bench today. Justin, Castagna, Suter, Chowdhury, Pratt, Albrighton, Iheanacho, Daka. That's their bench. So I think to compete with some of these sides, Leeds do need to really invest in that side. And I think maybe we'll see elements of that today where we all look and think, oh, he needs help, or oh, we need a bit of depth there, to be honest with you. Hi, Connor, at 3-0, we need to be patient. Cardiff will be lunging in with two-footed studs. Yeah, they'll be up for it. They'll need to disrupt Leeds' flow, no doubt about that. Southampton didn't look great against a troubled Wednesday outfit. Yeah, true, Mouse, but they still won the game. It's the first game of the season. I don't think, like previous commenters just said, you can take too much away from the first game of the season. I think we all know just what needs to be done at Leeds in general. Just more additions to aid the squad. Leicester want to ship out players. Their squad is too big. If we had that, yeah, definitely. 1-0 Sinistera goal, Sinistera hat-trick. I think, for me, I'm maybe looking at a 2-1 today. I think it's going to be narrow. I think it's going to be tight. we've got to bear in mind, everybody, that these are the youngsters. They're going to be a lot of youngsters and a lot of players from last season who suffered a little bit. There's probably going to be just, I mean, we've only brought, what, 2-3 players in? The starting lineup is probably only going to be one player who's different in terms of incomings from last season. So it's going to be largely the same squad as last season, isn't it? So I think we're going to have to give them time. I don't think, to be honest with you, we're going to blow Cardiff away. I hope I'm wrong. But I think Leeds are going to go out there. I do think we're going to win the game today. I do think we'll win the game. But for me, my starting lineup would be, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I would go with, I've said it on Twitter actually. If you don't follow me on Twitter, please go over and head over to Conor Mcgilligan. We do give updates consistently. Let me just get one Leeds as well as just hit 10,000 followers. Thank you for that. Head on over there if you want some match day thoughts as well. So this is my team for today. I've gone with, listen, I know this isn't how we're going to start up, so I'm just going to, I mean, he's pretty much confirmed that Melee is going in, hasn't he? So we'll start with Melee. I would have gone with Darlow at the start of the season to just embed him into the team and hopefully have him as the first keeper. Ayling, right back, I think. The reason I've gone Ayling right back is because I don't really know what's going on with Drama at the minute. There's been a lot of rumours about him having a knock. So I don't really know if he's going to be able to feature. If he's not going to be able to feature, then Ayling goes in there. But I think Ayling's had more minutes as well, hasn't he, really? You go Cresswell, we don't really have a right-sided centre-back aside from Cresswell unless you wanted to go two left-footed centre-backs in Strauch and Cooper, but I don't think that works. I think two left-footed left-backs, and it might have worked, you know, in the 70s and 80s, I believe, was it with McQueen and Hunter. But, you know, this is a different era, you know, it's a different era in football, and I don't think this works anymore, to be honest with you, two left-footed centre-backs. So I'd go Cresswell in there, and I've got Coops in there, and left-back I'd go Yelder. I think he's impressed me. I'm not... And you got to think that back line isn't great. You know, last time we were in the Championship, it was a much better back line, and we still had problems back there, you know, in my opinion. But you obviously had Ben White in there, so it was a lot stronger. But yeah, I'd go Melee, Ayling, Cresswell, Cooper, Yelder. The midfield's going to be a young average age. It's going to be a really, really young average age. Yeah, Josh, been called into work, mate. City are protesting, so there you go. I'm in work. I know, mate. It's the life of journalism. Yeah, I'm gutted, absolutely gutted, but it is what it is. Life gets in the way sometimes. I'll get down at some point, and I'll see some of you guys at some point. I literally can't. I'm absolutely gasping to get back down. So yeah, Ayling, Cresswell, Cooper, Yelder. Midfield is going to be the youngest defensive midfield partnership, I think, probably in the Championship this weekend. You've got Archie Gray, you've got Ethan Ampadu for me, and then I'd go Somerville, Poveda, Sinistera, and then Nonto up front. So yeah, I think it's going to be a challenging one. It's going to be a real challenging one today, just in terms of, you know, we've got to give them time. We have got to give them time. There's expectation with Leeds, though, and that's why it's up to the board to go out and invest. Because these kids are going to take a while to get up to standard. You know, it's a tough league. If any of you, I don't know if any of you were watching it yesterday, but you had Blackburn, who have just got Championship quality and depth, and you can tell they're just absolutely grinding. You know, they finished. I was at 7th or 8th last season. They have got quality. You know, Dolan, Schmodix. You know. And I just thought, I was watching them yesterday, and I thought they're quite cohesive. You know, Travis, Pickering. And then you look at West Bromwich Albion, who were better in the second half, but were okay yesterday. But then you look at Middlesbrough. I was watching Middlesbrough versus Millwall. That was a really good game. Norwich going under the radar a little bit. I thought they looked brilliant. I didn't watch Watford. I didn't watch Stoke City. But I just think there's a lot of decent teams in this division. The board need to help Farker out. And I think when he's coming out post-game and saying, you know, we need these positions invested in, I think he knows that as well. But overall today, if we're just looking at the game, I don't think Cardiff pose as much threat as some of the other sides in this division. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near the top 6. I know we're speaking in the preview of potentially them being in and around that spot, but it's because the Championship is so unpredictable. But I think they're going to be in and around the bottom, to be honest with you. So this is a game we've got to give the youngsters a chance, but these are games where you've really got to pick points up straight away for me. So yeah, excitement is building, of course. Excitement is building, but you do wonder what this starting 11 is going to be. But I think it's going to be close to that. I think we're going to see Willie up front or Dan James up front. I think if Willie doesn't start, I'm thinking to myself, I wonder why that is. Obviously, Harrison's not going to be there. Adams isn't going to be there. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, Hamer about to play now. Need to sign him up, of course. Yeah, Coventry are about to kick off, aren't they? If Farke gets sacked, it'll be the hands of this toxic sheeple. Is it Sheeple? And it would be sad. He's got one hand tied behind his back. Morning, Connor. Finally feeling a bit of excitement that the first game is upon us, but not as confident as I should be. Famous last words, Connor. Morning, Connor. Cine up top, please. He's our most natural goal scorer from France. How you, Dale? Yeah, 100%. I think playing Cine in that false nine position would be a very good option. I think he's technically the best player in the team, and him holding the ball up and linking play, a fluid front four of him, Pervader, Sinisterra, Somerville would be very pleasing, and then maybe Dan James off the bench. I'm still not of the mindset that Dan James starts. I think Dan James is always, for me, going to be a player off the bench. I don't think he's got the quality of a Somerville, of a Nonso, of a Sinisterra. I just don't think he's got it. I think, listen, he's been decent in pre-season, but just my personal judgment on Dan James, I don't think he's good enough. So for me, come on with 20, 25 minutes to go. Declan says, is this another must-win game? I don't think so, mate. I think my projection for the season is that Leeds are going to have a slowish start, and then hopefully we'll get some signings through the door, and we're then going to be able to progress, and hopefully it'll be similar to what you see with the Norwich side. You know, that Norwich side under Daniel Farke, where they progress slowly and then they really hit the gas. The ignition got hit around about December, and then they started really moving. That's how I predict Leeds are going to go. I think it's going to be a slow start. Maybe a few hiccups, fans getting a little bit nervy. I think fans are dramatically underestimating the Championship. Some fans, and I think that's, I understand it, but I think that's because a lot of fans just watch Leeds, and that's it. You know, they just watch the Leeds, and they're not really interested in watching any other football games. But I think if you watch other football games in the Championship, you do realise that the standard is pretty decent. It is pretty decent. It's the most competitive league in the world. Anybody can win it. We saw that with Luton when they got promoted. They were favourites to be in the bottom 10, relegated. You know, a season before that. So yeah, anything can happen in this division. Anyone can beat anyone. I don't think anyone can beat anyone in the Premier League. There's too much of a chasm between sides and positions in that division. So, yeah, I think... oh, Jay, don't say that. Fucking hell. I heard a rumour that Cine picked up an injury and may not be available. I'll stress it is just a rumour and not from a reliable source. It may be... So, yeah, let's not start spreading that, mate, 'cause my anxiety is going to hit the roof. But it just always seems to be the same with Leeds, doesn't it? It's... Nah, I think me and Joe have had these chats. There's no way it's weak. There's no way. The teams that have come up are too strong. The teams that have come up look at everybody's predictions for Ipswich and Plymouth's finishing position. For me, there's no way it's weaker. You look at the teams that have come down, and the teams that regularly come down into the Championship are normally yo-yo sides. The teams that have come down have been Leicester and Southampton, who've been Premier League custodians for the best part of 10 to 12 years. One was a Premier League champion, one won the FA Cup 4 years ago. You know, so what I'm trying to say with that is they've been able to build up depth over years and years and years. You know, some of those Southampton players have been there for years and were bought for good money. And they're going to be able to sell on, and being in the Premier League, you've been able to get that depth and get that quality, and now they're able to sell some of that quality on. There's no way it's weaker. Last season in the Championship was shite. It was absolutely shite. Hence why I had a Coventry Luton final. No offence, but I don't think in this Championship campaign Luton get out of it. You know, I think you're literally looking, in my opinion, at Sunderland getting stronger. I've mentioned this before. Middlesbrough, I think, are going to be strong, maybe as strong as they were last season. Obviously, it depends on what they're going to do with Cameron Archer. Leicester and Southampton are going to be strong. Leeds, you're hoping if we make some additions, are going to be strong. Coventry, if they can keep up hold of Gustavo Hamer, are still going to be strong. Birmingham have got new owners. They've invested. Stoke have invested heavily as well. Norwich have been able to keep a lot of their players from last season. West Brom are in financial troubles, but they've still got Carlos Corberán and a good nucleus. I'm not saying the Championship's unbelievable, but it's nowhere weaker. It's nowhere weaker. It's stronger. Plymouth finished on 101 points. Ipswich are flying, got plus 66 goal difference. I think it's going to be tough. Hey up, Connor. Greetings from Aussie Service Crew. Hi, mate. Hope you're all good. Is bitch. But yeah, this is what I mean. It could be that when I'm talking about all these teams, everyone, Leeds are involved in this. You know, we're involved in the mix. I think I give Farke a lot of credit. Signing of the summer's not been Ampadu, it's been Farke. He's the signing of the summer. So if we'd have got a dud manager in, someone who didn't have a playing philosophy and ethos and standards and expectations, this squad would be screwed, in my opinion. If we just got a budget manager like we've had in the past couple of years, this squad would be screwed. You know, if, let's say we'd have kept older Sam Allardyce and gone into the Championship, not really had a playing style, philosophy, ethos, as I've mentioned before. This squad is not good enough, in my opinion, to survive under a manager like that. Farke's going to have to be a coach and improve the standard of these players again, like Bielsa did. And I think they've got the manager right. It'd have been nice to have like a Daniel Farke after a Bielsa, but they got that completely wrong, didn't they? But yeah, transitionally, I think that from Bielsa to Farke, it finally it's like that's put to bed now, and we're here in a new era. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to look at what Farke is going to be implementing. But there is absolutely no doubt this squad needs adding to it, and I am still cautious. I'm excited, but I am cautious. I wish I was going into the season a little bit more buoyed with 4 or 5 different signings. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Ben says I think we'll do him 5-0. Hope you're right, mate. Very impressed with Farke and hope the 49ers support him. Yeah, and he's signed in the summer, mate. Farke, 100%. Imagine starting with Mez, Coops, Strauch and Ayling. That's 4 of our back 5 from 4 years ago in the Championship, 3 years in the... Yeah, 100%, mate. And yeah, it's only Leeds, innit? It's only Leeds. Second best league in the world. I think it's the most competitive league in the world, Ben. It's the most competitive league in the world. And I do find it strange because there's positivity, which I still have for this season. As I've mentioned, I think Leeds will finish in the top 6, which, believe it or not, some of you don't seem to grasp that Leeds can still go up if you finish in the top 6. I only say that, everybody, so I'm getting slandered for putting Leeds in the top, 6th. But I think Leeds are going to have a good season. But it's all based on how they end this window. But it has been quiet. Have I been disappointed? Yeah, I have. I'll be honest, I have. And we can make as many excuses as possible, but I'd have loved to have gone into the first game of the season with, more profiles, more depth, and just to help a lot of the kids and a bit of rejuvenation and fresh faces in there, to be honest with you. But we go into the season. It's a decent game for us to start with, and if we can get 3 points, I'm hoping, but we've been saying this for weeks, that Leeds are going to be able to steamroll transfers next week and get things moving. I also says Peacocks of White. Hey up, Kyle. Hope you're all right, mate. Not going to, mate. You'll have to watch the beginning of the stream, mate. I wish. You need to stop reminding me of this because I'm going to be depressed. I don't think Leeds are going to have a good season. I don't know. I think it's a long project. I do think it's a long project with Daniel Farke, hence why they've given him a 4-year. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to be waffling on for the next 20-25 minutes. Really appreciate your support. We're going to be back with the match reaction at some point. The debrief, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do the debrief tonight, which is going to be a bit crap. Leeds don't normally play on Sunday. We know that, which has scuppered a lot of things. But if you keep on track with the Twitter and the Instagram, there's a likelihood it's going to be tomorrow evening, the debrief, but you'll have a match review 100%. I'm going to put some bonus bits on the Patreon as well, link in the description below. I'm going to do like instant short match reactions as well on our TikTok, which you can find over there. But yeah, guys, we're going to try to do a bit of a different content sphere this year, so hopefully you're going to enjoy it, maybe with one of these implemented on most match days. But yeah, this is going to be your content. I'll get a match review out, don't worry about that. But as I said, debrief likely going to be tomorrow around about 5-6ish if you guys can pop along for that one. If not, you'll be updated all the time on our Instagram and Twitter well in advance. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. And let's hope we can get a win. Guys, I'm going to go with a 2-1 Leeds United win. Let us know what you think in the comment section below, as always. See you in a bit.